Right, here I'm giving an equation of a hyperbola, and I need to write it in standard form so that I can graph it. In order to write it in standard form, the first step is to put the x's and the y's next to each other if they aren't already. Mine are kind of scattered, so I'm going to move my x's so they're next to each other. Make sure I'm taking that minus 36x, and then put the y's next to each other. And then just my constant. The next step is to look at each of the groups. Look at my x's and my y's. And I want what is in front of the square, the coefficient in front of the square, to be 1. But it's not. It's a 9 and a negative 4. So I need to factor each of those groups. So for the x's, I need to factor out a 9, because then I'll be left with x squared. And x squared has a coefficient of 1. I need to factor a 9 out of negative 36x also. And then for the second, the y's, I need to factor out a negative 4. Because when I do that, I'm left with a y squared, which is what I want. And then I still have my minus 36 equals 0. On the next step, I'm actually going to do two things. I'm going to move that 36 to the other side. So I'm going to add 36 to both sides. But I'm also just going to rewrite this and leave some space inside the parentheses so I can complete the square. So I'm going to leave a little space there. Leave a little space there. And then 36 now is on the right side of the equation. Now, what goes in that space when we complete the square? What we're going to do is you're going to take the middle term. So for the x's, my middle term is negative 4. You're going to divide by 2, and then you're going to square it. So for the y's, our middle term is negative 6. You're going to divide by 2, and then you're going to square it. So let's simplify that then. We have 9x squared minus 4x. What is negative 4 divided by 2? It's negative 2. And then if I square it, that's positive 4. And then for the y's, negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Squared is 9. So I can add a number or subtract a number from one side of the equation, but I need to add or subtract that same number from the other side of the equation. So now you need to ask yourself, what did I do on the left side? Did I just add a 4 and add a 9? Should I just add a 4 and a 9 to the right side? No, I didn't just add a 4. That 4 is inside of the parentheses. We need to think of that 4 as 9 times 4. 9 times 4 is 36. So we added a 36 over there. And then over with the y's, we didn't add 9. That's negative 4 times 9. Negative 4 times 9 is negative 36. So what are we left with? This is still the 9x squared minus 4x plus 4. And this is still negative 4y squared minus 6y plus 9. But on the right side, we have 36 plus 36 minus 36, which is 36. All right, now we have completed the square. Now we can factor what is inside of the parentheses. Completing the square means we turned this into something squared. I know the first number is an x because x times x is x squared, but I don't know what this is. Now, in order to factor this, you could use lots of different methods. You could say what two numbers multiply to give us the last number, add to give us the middle number. But I'll give you a shortcut. If you go back up to step number 3, what you got when you took that middle number and divided by 2, that's what goes inside the parentheses. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. This is the same as x minus 2 squared. And you can double check yourself if you want. Say, what is x minus 2 times x minus 2? And do FOIL method to multiply that. You see, when you simplify that, that is x squared minus 4x plus 4. So of course you can check yourself. Now let's look at the second one. We have minus 4, and then what's being squared here? If we go back up to step number 3, we have negative 6 divided by 2, which is negative 3. This is the same as y minus 3 times y minus 3. If you distribute that, you'll see that's the same as y squared minus 6y plus 9. So we're almost there. The very last step to have this in standard form so we can graph it, we need to have it set equal to 1. So this 36 over here, we need to change that to a 1. In order to do that, I'm going to divide by 36. If I divide that by 36, I need to divide the left side by 36 as well. So I need to divide that by 36 and divide this by 36. And when you do, 9 over 36, that cancels, and you're left with x minus 2 squared over 4 minus 36 and 4, that cancels, so you have y minus 3 squared over 9 equals 1. So this would be the standard form of our hyperbola, where we now know where the center is and how far away from the center the vertices are.